Dubai didn't suddenly collapse in 2026. The cracks were already there, hidden beneath the shine, covered by growth numbers, waiting quietly for pressure to expose them. The illusion was powerful, a perfect city, a flawless destination, but perfection often hides fragility. And Dubai's model depended on conditions that were never guaranteed forever. Dubai didn't collapse. It was already fragile, built heavily on luxury tourism, a system that works perfectly, until demand slows even slightly. Everything here was premium, high-end hotels, expensive experiences, but that came with a cost. Visitors paid more, yet increasingly questioned what they received in return. Step outside the luxury bubble, and reality hits. Temperatures pushing 42 to 45 degrees. Heat that turned simple activities into physical endurance tests for visitors. This wasn't new, but it became harder to ignore, especially as travelers began redefining what they actually wanted from destinations around the world today. The global mindset shifted from luxury to meaning, from skyscrapers into stories. People started valuing culture, history, and connection over polished surfaces and controlled environments. Compare that with cities rich in identity, places where history lives in every corner, where experiences feel real, not manufactured. The contrast became impossible to ignore. And this is where the paradox appears. Dubai offers luxury, but often lacks emotional depth. Beautiful on the surface, yet difficult to connect with beyond visuals. This is the empty luxury paradox. Everything looks expensive. Everything feels polished, but something essential is missing, something that money alone cannot create or replace. At the same time, another shift began. Quiet, strategic. Wealth started moving, not loudly, but steadily towards safer, more stable environments across the world. Destinations like Singapore and Switzerland became more attractive. Stability, security, and long-term confidence started outweighing flashy appeal and temporary advantages. The ultra-rich don't stay for beauty. They stay for certainty. And when certainty weakens, they move. Quickly, quietly, and without hesitation or emotional attachment. This is migratory capital. It doesn't belong anywhere permanently. It follows opportunity. It follows safety. And right now, it's choosing to move elsewhere. Loyalty in this world is conditional. It depends on stability, predictability, confidence. Remove those, and even the strongest relationships begin to dissolve rapidly. And that leads to a dangerous question, a question that cuts deeper than tourism numbers or hotel occupancy rates ever could in this moment. If the rich are leaving, who is left to sustain the illusion? Dubai is no longer alone. The region is changing fast. New players are rising. And the dominance Dubai once held is now being quietly challenged. One city stands out in this shift. Riyadh is transforming rapidly. Backed by massive funding and long-term strategy, it is attracting global attention. At the center of this transformation is Vision 2030, a plan designed to diversify, modernize, and redefine the region's economic future beyond oil. Dubai once stood as the uncontested hub, the gateway between East and West. But today, that position is no longer guaranteed or protected. The pressure is coming from every direction. Tourism is declining, investors are stepping back, and competitors are offering alternatives that feel newer, safer, and more stable. This is no longer a single problem, it's a multi-front challenge. Economic, psychological, and geopolitical forces are all converging at the same time. Dubai now faces something unfamiliar. Competition at scale, not imitation, but direct rivalry from neighbors with equal ambition and deeper long-term positioning strategies. The government has responded. Emergency measures introduced, financial relief packages deployed, attempting to stabilize the system before deeper damage spreads across industries. But the scale of support raises questions. Compared to projected losses, the response appears small, a temporary buffer, not a long-term solution to structural challenges, because this isn't just about money, it's about confidence, and confidence cannot be injected into a system overnight through funding or short-term incentives alone. Now, the real question emerges, a question that defines everything ahead for Dubai and its future trajectory in a rapidly shifting global landscape. Is this a temporary crisis or a permanent reset? There are two possible paths forward, two very different futures, and the direction Dubai chooses will determine everything that comes next. The first path is reinvention, a shift towards sustainability, culture, diversification, building a deeper identity that goes beyond luxury and architectural spectacle. A Dubai that feels real, connected, meaningful, not just impressive, but emotionally engaging for those who visit and those who choose to stay. The second path is far darker. Empty infrastructure, silent skyscrapers, a city struggling to maintain relevance in a world that has already moved forward. A slow decline, not dramatic, not immediate, but steady, where presence fades and importance gradually disappears from the global stage. And in the end, everything comes down to one truth, a truth that every great city must eventually confront when tested by reality. When the lights go out, what remains? Not gold, identity. Stop. Something just broke in Dubai. And nobody's talking about how bad it really is. This isn't a slowdown, it's something far deeper. In 2025, Dubai looked unstoppable. Record-breaking tourism, endless arrivals, luxury hotels full, airports alive. The city felt like a machine printing money without limits or resistance. Numbers told a powerful story. Nearly 20 million visitors, occupancy rates above 80%, every room filled, every experience sold. Dubai was operating at full capacity daily. Then something changed, not slowly, not gradually. Overnight, the rhythm broke. The system didn't weaken, it snapped, and almost nobody saw it coming in time. Late February 2026 became the turning point. One moment everything was stable. The next moment uncertainty entered the skyline and refused to leave the atmosphere. Within days, the numbers collapsed. Occupancy rates didn't dip, they crashed from over 80% to nearly 20% in just a matter of weeks. By mid-March, the situation worsened. Central areas dropped even further. Some locations reported levels close to 15%, lower than even the darkest pandemic periods before. Bookings didn't just decline, they disappeared. Tens of thousands canceled almost instantly. Travel plans erased, flights reconsidered. A wave of hesitation replaced global excitement completely. This wasn't just data, this was behavior, a psychological shift. Tourists didn't wait for confirmation, they reacted to perception. And perception changed faster than reality itself. Fear spread quietly, no official bans, no universal restrictions, but something more powerful emerged, a silent agreement in people's minds to stay away for now. In cities like Dubai, trust is everything. It fuels tourism, investment, movement. And once trust cracks, everything built on top begins to weaken instantly. What we are witnessing is not just a tourism drop, it is a confidence collapse. And confidence, once lost, doesn't return as quickly as it disappears. The speed is what makes this different. Not months, not years, just weeks. A complete reversal of momentum in one of the world's most engineered destinations. Dubai was designed to feel permanent, stable, untouchable. But this moment reveals something uncomfortable. Even the strongest systems can fracture under sudden pressure. And now the question becomes unavoidable. Not about numbers, not about bookings, but about something deeper, something far more difficult to rebuild once it's gone. How does a city built on perfection fall this fast? Dubai was never just a destination. It was a connection point, a crossroads between continents. A city built not on land, but on movement through the sky. At the center of this system stands Dubai International Airport, one of the busiest airports on Earth, the beating heart of global transit and flow. Every day, hundreds of flights once landed and departed. People arriving, people leaving, constant motion. This rhythm wasn't optional, it was survival for the entire city. But now, that rhythm is breaking, the flow is slowing, and in some moments, it feels like it's stopping completely. Flight schedules began thinning out, first slightly, then aggressively, routes disappearing, frequencies reduced. What once felt endless suddenly became uncertain and fragile. Airlines started pulling back, not because they wanted to, but because the risk was rising faster than the reward. The equation no longer made sense. Major global carriers reacted quickly. British Airways paused routes. Lufthansa reduced operations. Cathay Pacific stepped away entirely. Even when flights remained, costs surged. Insurance premiums climbed sharply. Operating in the region became expensive, unpredictable, and increasingly difficult to justify financially. This created pressure from all sides. Airlines lost confidence. Routes became liabilities. And slowly, the network that once defined Dubai began shrinking. But the real damage wasn't just operational, it was psychological. Travelers didn't wait for official restrictions. They made decisions based on what they felt. A new concept quietly formed. A psychological no-fly zone. No bans, no official closures. But Ines simply chose not to come. Perception replaced policy. Fear replaced planning. And once that shift happens, reversing it becomes incredibly difficult for any destination, no matter how advanced it is. The chain reaction was immediate. Fewer flights meant fewer arrivals. Fewer arrivals meant less spending. And less spending began choking the entire economic system. Hotels struggled. Retail slowed. Tourism-dependent businesses felt the pressure instantly. The entire structure began tightening like a system losing oxygen rapidly. Dubai's strength was always connectivity, but now that same strength has become its greatest vulnerability. When movement stops, everything else follows behind it. This is no longer just an aviation issue. It's a systemic disruption. A city designed around access is now facing restricted flow from every direction. And now the question becomes unavoidable. A question that defines everything moving forward. A question no one in Dubai can ignore anymore. If planes stop coming, does Dubai even function?